smiling or cringing or looking surprised, does that actually contribute to the success of the video? This paper was published about 3 or 4 months ago. There are 3 questions the researchers are trying to answer. Is there a positive correlation between facial attributes in thumbnails and the success of a YouTube videos? Are there differences between YouTube categories regarding the success of facial attributes? Is it possible to predict the success of a YouTube video based on facial attributes within the thumb? Now, how will the research try to answer these questions? They took the 100 most successful YouTube channels in Germany, which is important because it probably includes a bias, took all of their videos, 160,000 videos. I haven't seen a lot of research based on just that amount of videos. That's pretty impressive. In each video, they have these attributes, the basic things like the video ID, the channel ID, the view count, the thumbnail URL, which is where you get the actual thumbnail from. When was it published? They have which emotion is displayed in the thumbnail, and you can see anger, fear, neutral, sadness, disgust, happiness, and surprise, ethnic origin of the person, age, and gender. They're going to see if any of these attributes can actually predict the success of the video. Okay, let's go to the meaty stuff. What we can see here is basically the success score. This is the people that got kind of the average success score, and these are the people that are more and more successful, and these are the ones that are less and less successful. You see basically the breakdown of how many thumbnails had faces in them and how many didn't have. And the line is just an easier way for us to understand the relation. Now, what is the success of the video? The simple answer would be the views. However, you would sometimes want to compare these views to something. For example, if you look at views divided by subscribers, you kind of control for how big is the channel. If you look at the views divided by the rolling average views on the channel, you basically get a 1 out of 10. One thing that they did in this research, which I actually think is not a very good decision. They basically took all of what I've just mentioned and combined them with a very simple addition. This might seem math and scary, but it really isn't. They standardized the views divided by subscribers, and they standardized the views divided by the rolling average of views, and they just add all of them together and get to a success score. The reason I think this is slightly problematic is because these things show different angles. A 1 out of 10 is a perspective for how well are you doing compared to yourself. The views divided by subscribers tells us how well are you doing compared to other people. It's weird to me to have a very simple addition to just add them one another and get to a more general score. I would be very interested in seeing the results for each of them separately, which is something they do not include in the paper, so I cannot tell you how well the videos have done if you only look at one of these success metrics. The presence of faces in thumbnails is positively correlated with the success of the videos. This is the proportion of thumbnails that have a face. What you can see here is this line going up, indicating that the more videos with thumbnails in the group, the better the group did in terms of the success score. You can probably see that it's high here and it's going down and then it's going down again. What they would argue is that because we have not many videos that are in the extreme results, either here or here, not that many videos do very bad or very good. So they are suggesting for us to basically ignore the results in these brackets and basically only look at this nice line going up. They are demonstrating a relationship between having a face in the thumbnail and the success of the video. Videos that have faces in them tend to do better. In here you can see the frequency of each emotion type in the thumbnails. A happy face is basically the by far most common face, and surprise is actually almost at the bottom here with disgust, which is kind of interesting because the typical YouTuber face that people usually refer to is either surprise or disgust. The next part is actually really interesting. They try to predict the success of a video based on the data they have on the video. What they did is they are basically splitting their videos into 3 groups. One is the training set. This is where they basically tell the model, this is the data that we have about the video, and they show him what happened with the views. Then there's the validation set that makes sure to see that everything is working well. And then is the test set, where they would then show the model the data about the video, the channel, the thumbnail, stuff like that, but they wouldn't show the outcome. And they would ask the model to predict the outcome. They want to see is if the model is able to, just by looking at the attributes that they have, accurately predict the success of the video. They tried 3 different models, and the best that they could get to in terms of the R2 score is 0.15, which is not bad, but it's very far from being impressive. Yes, there's probably something there in the data in terms of correlation between thumbnail and outcome, but if having a face in your thumbnail does contribute to the views, it contributes a very modest portion of the overall success of the video. This is not something that will be dramatic for the outcome of your video. And you can see they mention here, in general, the presence of faces in thumbnails is positively correlated with the success of the videos with a correlation coefficient of 0.13. This is not a lot. This won't change the impact of your video. The researchers actually say that explicitly here in the paper. Additional characteristics may influence thumbnail success. Therefore, the correlation between facial attributes and the success score is probably weak in some cases. Having a face in your thumbnail, if we look at very successful YouTubers in Germany, has some correlation to the success of your videos, but probably that success is not that big, and you should have the thumbnail that you think looks best and makes the most sense in your case. Having a face in your thumbnail is not a hack, and it will not save your channel from getting 0 views.